Hey guys, going to talk about the Klarus XTQ2 flashlight. This is a really kind of innovative design. It's very nice tactical kind of weapon-based light. It uses an 18650 battery, and unfortunately I have some bad stuff to say about this light, and I also have some really good stuff to say about this light. So hopefully you stick by and hear all this. We'll go with the numbers first because I know a lot of people like the numbers. And talk about this. This is a very simple 3-mode flashlight, and the modes are high 870 lumens for 3.8 hours, and more on that later. Mid 205 lumens for 14 hours, low 25 lumens for 82 hours. Peak beam distance 340 meters. You're talking IPX8 waterproof standard, XML U2 LED. It says they are ANSI rated lumens. We'll talk about that also. Can use one 18650 or two CR123 batteries. They don't recommend the rechargeable CR123s. They are a higher voltage and it's not rated for that. You know, comes with a bunch of extras, which I got in the other room. Of course, I forgot them. So there's your numbers. So the call to fame for this little guy is actually the tail switch. It has this flat metal tail switch that's silent. It turns the light on as a momentary. You basically just touch this thing and there you go. You get a momentary, which is kind of cool. It's silent, it's quick, it makes really good, and it's a really good idea for a weapon light. I really like it. Hold it in for a couple seconds and it will lock it on. Hold it in for a couple more seconds, turns it off. Of course, you can access your momentary again. Of course, we're going to turn it on here. Once it's on and locked on, tapping the button will cycle through the 3 modes. Double tap will bring you to strobe. And when the light's off, a double tap will also bring you to strobe when the light's off as well. So, very good, very easy, very simple user interface, which is one of the awesome things about it. And I really do like that tail switch, which is cool. Comes with a belt clip, really not necessary. I don't foresee this ever being put on a belt. However, if I were strapping this onto a bug out bag, because it does double as a weapon light, you could strap this on a Somali webbing with that, if you wanted to, I guess. So let's see, you got a glass lens, smooth reflector, stainless bezel there, a little bit of knurling on it, good little area here for the weapon mount, you know, with the 1-inch tube. So that's got a nice little area there. So now let's talk about the bad. There's 2 things. First of all, if you look on the forums, people are having a lot of problems with this light. There's a couple different threads on a couple different forums, and the problem being the actual head, the tail cap here comes on and off. But you can see there's these little set screws in here. The tail cap is in 2 pieces, and apparently people are getting these and either the set screws are sheared off or stripped out, and these 2 pieces of the tail cap are separating, which is basically causing the light to fail. And there's actually a good handful of reports of this on the forums where people are having to send these back because of it. So I have to point that out, that it is an issue. I don't know why they would use little set screws like that. You know, they're really tiny. It'd be very easy to strip them out, to shear them off. You know, it just seems like a really bad design idea. I get it, you know, it's probably necessary to make that tail switch happen, but they probably come up with a little better idea than that, to be honest, because obviously it's failing. Problem 2. This light dramatically and terribly overestimates run times. Now, they advertise 870 lumens. Now, that's fine. I measured this and I got like 800 lumens, which is close enough considering the level of error in my measurement. It's close enough for that sake. But there is no way you can run 870 lumens for 3.8 hours. If you look at the XML U2, for 800 lumens, and we're talking just 800, not even 870, you need to run at about 2 amps. Now, if you're running a 3600 milliamp hour battery, that basically gives you an hour and a half or 90 minutes of runtime. So how they get 3.8 hours is actually a loophole with how the ANSI ratings work. Basically, if you turn the light on and leave it, you can basically use that as your runtime. So what they've done is they've actually built a step down into this. So this light actually steps down after a couple of minutes. So if you were to turn this light on and walk away, you're going to have turbo for 3 minutes, the light's going to step down, and then it's going to continue on medium mode for like 4 hours. That's really not a fair representation of the light. I think that's really dishonest, and it's really taking advantage of the loophole. In reality, you're only going to get like 80 or 90 minutes out of this light. I tested it with a couple of different batteries, and that's pretty much what I got. And I had to literally kick this thing back up to turbo every 3 minutes for an hour and a half, which was a huge pain in the neck. But Klarus does this very frequently with their lights. It's one of the reasons why you don't see me reviewing a lot of Klarus lights is because I feel they are a dishonest company. They often over-exaggerate their lumens, and they often massively over-exaggerate their run times, which is really ridiculous because 3.8 hours, if you turn the light on and walk away, but in reality, you're getting 3 minutes of turbo and 4 hours of medium. So that's really just very misleading. And I know I'm going to get a lot of flack about this, and there's going to be a lot of negatives about this video because there are YouTubers out there who swear by the Klarus lights, and I hate to pick on the guy because he's done so much for the gear community, but Such is one of those guys. He puts out videos on Klarus. He talks about them quite a bit and speaks very highly of him. However, the guy films commercials. He doesn't actually test the gear beyond just filming, and it's obvious because he stands by Klarus, and Klarus does this with pretty much every one of their lights. He's never run one of these things long enough to even know that their claims are massively exaggerated, that they're actually claiming 4 times the runtime than they actually get. Kind of shame on him for not testing his lights. Now, I get it, he reviews a lot of gear, but so do I. I actually think I'm pretty sure I review more gear than him, and I do take the time and the care to actually check these things and do research on the products, whereas, I don't know what's up with the guy. Like I said, he's done a lot for the community. I hate to bash him, but as part of the problem is that these companies get away with this because reviewers don't hold them to that standard. So bear in mind, it's a really cool light. I really like it, guys. Don't consider this that I say the light's a bad light. I really like it, but there's 2 things you do have to consider. One is this kind of bad design on the tail cap, which could fail on you, or you could get a bad one and have to go through the hassle of returning it. Number 2, really, really highly overestimated lumens and run times on pretty much every Klarus. So if you're willing to handle that, go for it. Klarus makes pretty good lights as far as I'm concerned. The only other thing I do want to note is I did email Klarus because, as a reviewer, I always try and clarify things. And so I emailed them and basically said, hey, I'm a reviewer. I bought your flashlight because I didn't want them to think I was trying to get a cheap a handout. I said, I bought your flashlight. I have a couple questions about the step down, thermal protection, run times, all the usual stuff I ask the manufacturers. And I also had mentioned the issue with the tail cap, if there was any fix for that, if there was any clue as to what was going on or why it was happening, and something that I could add into my video for people. They didn't respond. So customer service for Klarus is obviously pretty much non-existent. I thought it was a pretty good question. And knowing that I'm going to be reviewing this, they still didn't answer me, which to me kind of says they don't care. There's a lot of flashlights out there, and to me, customer service is a big thing. Being able to email a company with questions and actually have them answer you is very important. So when you take all 3 things into consideration, I really don't recommend Klarus lights to anyone because of that. If you can't be bothered to respond to an email, and mind you guys, I sent this email when I got this light nearly a month ago, and they have not responded, nothing. And this is just a guy trying to, make a good review, to help their reputation out, and they can't even be bothered with that. So, oh well. So, take it or leave it, guys. This is the light. Full honesty. I don't film commercials. I film reviews. That's that.